We are continuing to cover news that the Los Angeles Unified School District received a credible threat, a terror threat, possibly a bomb threat. They've shut down all the schools. We're going to take you back to Los Angeles, where earlier today, there was a news conference with some of the details. We're going to let you listen to that.
This morning, at just after 5 o'clock, I received a phone message from Chief Zipperman, the school police, and he shared with me the threat that had been made to not one school, but many schools in this school district. He shared with me that some of the details talked about backpacks, talked about other packages, and after talking with him, also with the board president, I made a decision to close all of the schools. I have alerted all 6 superintendents. They have been alerted. I've asked them to have their operations people talk to the plant managers at each school. I've asked the plant managers to walk the school, and if they see anything that is out of order, to contact the police. Not to touch anything, not to do anything, but to if they see anything out of line, to contact the proper authorities. We made contact with our early education centers because these are our young children. We made contact with our special education to make sure that those that are not as mobile as some of our special students are taken care of. We have made contact with our adult education schools. We have made contact with our charter schools because the Board of Education has responsibility and the district for all charter schools. So I've asked that they be closed also. I think it is important that I take the precaution based on what has happened recently and what has happened in the past. I have asked the chief to be working with the city police department and the sheriff. Before the day is over, I want every school searched to make sure that it is safe for children and safe for staff to be there on Wednesday. I will issue a statement late this afternoon after the Chief Zipperman has informed me that schools have been searched and it is okay. I will keep you informed ongoing during the day if there are any situations. One of the issues I've been worried about is children who walk to school. We have a great many of those, and so I've asked the principals to make sure that those children are at a specific gate so they can be given instructions, kept together, and so that we can make contact with parents to pick up their children or to make sure that they get home safely, not independently, home safely, making sure that their parents are notified. We have sent a Connect Ed to all parents, letting them know of the action I've taken. I will answer some questions after the chief and the board president speak with you. Chief?
Superintendent, could you start just with the beginning with a couple people arrived late?
Chief?
Good morning, Steve Zipperman, the Chief of Los Angeles School Police Department. And I just want to reiterate what Superintendent Cortines already stated. Earlier this morning, we did receive an electronic threat that mentions the safety of our schools. As a result of that threat, not only Los Angeles School Police Department, but excuse me?
No.
Okay. I'm going to continue on that as a result of that threat, The Los Angeles School Police Department, as well as Los Angeles Police Department and the FBI were notified, and right now the threat is still being analyzed. In an abundance of caution, as Superintendent Cortines has indicated, we have chosen to close our schools today.
Security at their school, which is not.
And concurred with our district officials, which we believe will be able to occur by the end of this day. We will keep those schools closed. The investigation is ongoing. I'm not going to get into the details. I do want to say this is important, that the threat that was received as far as the LA Unified School District is concerned pertained to the LA Unified School District. I know there's been many calls. I can tell you that we know of no other threats that we're aware of, unless other agencies have gotten in specifics outside of LAUSD, that this pertains to the threats that we got to our schools only. We do not know any other information about any other threats within the county region at this time. As I indicated, law enforcement will continue to evaluate the threats.
Chief, would you introduce the chief?
I would like to introduce Assistant Chief Jorge Villegas, and he is the Assistant Chief from LAPD in charge of Office of Operations. Chief Villegas.
Come over here, Chief. That's fine.
Hold on, Chief.
Good morning. I'm George Villegas, Jorge-Villegas. I'm an assistant chief with the LAPD and the chief of operations. As was mentioned earlier, the school district received a safety threat that we're in the process now of validating or vetting to determine what, if any, validity it has. As you can imagine, we take all threats seriously. Nothing is more important to us than the safety of our kids, especially those that are coming to and from school that haven't been notified yet of this the safety threat. We're doing everything we can to ensure that we conduct a thorough investigation into that threat, and we'll be working with the school district as well as with the FBI to ensure that the public is informed as much as we can provide as soon as we can provide it.
Introduce the board president.
This is Steve Zimmer. He's the president of the Los Angeles Board of Education.
We're just listening to a press conference that was held a little bit earlier. The superintendent of the Los Angeles Unified School District, along with various representatives from law enforcement, bringing us up to date about a credible threat that was directed towards one or several of the schools in Los Angeles. We're going to take you to our Los Angeles station now, who's covering this story.
Here and faculty's inside, and they're not allowing anyone in.
Yeah, I know. I saw the news, but I wasn't sure, so I just come to
It's final week, so yeah.
Yeah, that's what a lot of students have been saying. You guys have studied hard for finals. You come here, and now all schools in the district have been closed.
Yeah, because it's final week, we need like good grades.
And you studied hard, and many parents have expressed that as well. I mean, obviously there's a concern for safety, but the fact that this is such an important day.
Yeah.
And you guys didn't get any text message or alert besides what you've heard on the news?
No, usually when they have some announcement or something, they will call my mom. But today my mom got like unknown number, so she didn't pick up. So I don't know if they call us or not.
Sure, and many parents and students have been trying to call the district. All phone lines have been busy, and this is again affecting every school in the district that has been closed because of this electronic threat that came in. When you hear something like that and happening in this day and age, what thoughts go through your head?
I'm so scared. Like, I heard the news, but it was in like Paris or something. I didn't think like that it would come. They would come here.
And it is unsettling. Thank you girls so much. And I guess head home, although, you know, I don't want to give out the wrong advice. The district has been telling students, such as Anya and her friend here, to meet at the reunion gate unless you said you walked here, correct?
I came by a bus.
On the bus, okay, and make sure that your parents can, and that you arrive home safely at that. Faculty, again, Rick and Sharon, thank you girls so much. I mean, at this point, there is a lot of confusion, and parents are still dropping off a lot of their kids here, expecting them to take then the bus to their various high schools. We just caught up with one parent a little bit ago this morning who explained to us about what she was going through when she arrived.
I don't know if I'm to leave my kid at school or not. I mean, you want to be with him right now, but another thought is that he has an important day, so I don't know, I'm scared and
Yeah, a lot of emotions, I'm sure, from parents and students alike. Rick and Sharon, I'm going to send it back to you. Again, just at this high school alone, 1,600 students to take care of.
Okay, thank you, Jasmine. We're going to go back to Cara Finstrom now at LAUSD offices. Cara, what do you have?
I just got that information.
Is Chief Becker?
Yes, I'm ready. Isidro, the question is
Hi,
Chief
Cara,
Beck
you're live.
the only one?
Hi, we are just learning here that our news conference that we have been saying would take place at 9 will now take place at 10. I want to bring in school board member Monica Garcia. Why pushed back, and what are we expecting at this news conference?
So we are still communicating to all of our parents. There are no classes here today. I don't have any new information for you, except we know that the superintendent is working with our law enforcement team to have the best information possible for our LA community. We know there's a lot of interest and desire to know right now that is not available. We are focused on making sure that our youth return to their home if they came to school. Our employees are out and about trying to support our families, and folks are working really hard to make sure that we do have good information for our families who want to know so desperately what is happening that caused my schools to close today. So we understand that. We appreciate all our press team who was here this morning, all of the interested partners in communicating to our families. We all care a lot about our kids, and I am confident that the superintendent and his team are going to bring us information that we can all share with the public in just a little while.
And we'll be covering that. Now, our Jasmine Veal is out in the field, and I just heard her reporting she was talking to some parents who had busy signals when they tried to call in. Are there other ways of getting information?
So every school is communicating directly with their families. We do have information up on the website, and I am certain we will have to deal with the busy signals. But what is most important, if your child is at home, you will get information about tomorrow. If that hotline, I think, was meant for people who are unsure about what is happening right now with their kid. Either way, our schools are working hard to talk to those families. We want to make sure all our kids are back home safe. We know there's a lot of learning what to do when I don't have all the answers.
Now, I know parents have been instructed to meet their children at reunion gates. And just briefly, what have you been seeing so far at those reunion gates this morning? Were there a lot of students at school?
So we have communicated successfully to many students to stay home. At every school in the reunion gate, we did have adults who were informed and supportive of our kids. So we are all working to provide information where it is needed. At every school site, there was an adult who was there to inform children that classes were canceled. Thank you.
Okay, one more question that we're getting actually from our anchor. Rick, what is your question?
Well, Cara, could you ask Monica? We did speak to some students at Hollywood High School who said that their families had not been notified this morning about not going to school. So the question is, how were families being notified this morning?
We did speak with some parents at Hollywood High School just on our air a short while ago who said they were not notified. How were they notified? How could they have missed this?
There were Connect Ed phone calls that went out. If you change your phone number and you haven't updated us, we don't have your phone number. But this is a difficult thing to do, to talk to every family before they left their house, before, we don't know if you have a cell phone or if you have a house phone. We know this is difficult. That's why we are embarking with as many people as possible. We tried to communicate to folks before they got to school, but if they got to school, there was a response for them also. This is not a perfect situation. We understand many people are stressed and anxious, and we are so thankful to everyone who has worked to make sure that our kids are safe today.
Do you know, will we have a representative from the police department here this morning?
Yeah, we do have
From LAUSD?
LAPD. We do have our chief of police with us as well.
All right.